In this video, we will focus on revising and editing. Often, students confuse revising and editing. These are different processes, although they will sometimes overlap. One way to understand revision is to look at the word, revision, which can mean to see it again. Look at the whole picture. Consider your speech as a whole. How can you improve the quality of the writing? How can you help the reader or listener better follow your thoughts? Editing has more to do with spelling, punctuation, and grammar. We are going to start with revision, although if you find a spelling error or punctuation mistake along the way, you may go ahead and fix that. There are a couple of common misconceptions about revising. The first one is that the piece is fine just the way it is. And students, it almost never is. The second misconception is that you need to rewrite the entire thing. Well, students, you almost never have to do that either. To begin the revising process, print out 2 copies of your speech. On your copy of your speech, number the paragraphs 1 through 4 or 1 through 5, depending on how many paragraphs you have. This will make it much easier to revise. Listen to your essay or your speech. Have someone read it out loud while you follow along on your copy with your pencil in hand. Have your computer read out loud to you. With your colored pencil or pen in hand, make notes as you listen and read. During the revision process, you will listen for organization. Does my speech have a logical order, or is it difficult to follow? Do I have a strong lead? Is my thesis statement clearly stated in the first paragraph? You will also listen for word choice. Have I used vivid verbs? Burst through the door, devoured the feast, nibbled the grass. Have I used specific words? The speckled Dalmatian versus the dog. He searched frantically versus he looked. During revision, we listen for fluency. Do the sentences and paragraphs flow well, or does my speech sound choppy? Do I need more transition words? Are my sentence openers varied? A common problem for young writers is to begin all their sentences the same way. In my Texas Longhorn cattle speech, let's look at paragraph 2. Many of these sentences are formed the same way. They have the same structure, subject and then verb. Even worse, they all begin with the pronoun they. They can be raised in almost any climate. They will graze. They have very few health problems. They live a long life. Changing just a couple of these sentences will make a big difference. One solution to solving this problem is to use a subordinate conjunction. As you will recall, a subordinate conjunction is a word used to introduce a dependent clause and to show the relationship between the independent clause and the dependent clause. Here are some common subordinate conjunctions. After, although, because, before, since, so, until, when. Look at the difference. Here's the original sentence. They will graze on a variety of wild plants, which means they will eat whatever happens to be growing in the area they live. But now look at it using the subordinate conjunction because. Because longhorns will graze on a variety of wild plants, they are happy to eat whatever happens to be growing in the area they live. Another solution is to use transition words. Here are some common transition words. Transition words connect ideas and help readers move from one idea to another. Look at the next 2 sentences, which also begin with the pronoun they. They have very few health problems and very few birthing problems. They live long lives. Now look at it with the addition of a couple of transition words. In addition, they have very few health problems and very few birthing problems, so they usually live long lives. So I added the transition words in addition, and then I also combined these two sentences with the subordinate conjunction so. Here is the revised paragraph. Texas Longhorn cattle are easy animals to raise. They can be raised in almost any climate, from very cold to very hot areas. Because Texas Longhorns will graze on a variety of wild plants, they are happy to eat whatever happens to be growing in the area they live. In addition, they have very few health problems and very few birthing problems, so they usually live long lives. It sounds like you could raise Texas Longhorns even if you were inexperienced. The paragraph definitely flows better now. It's time to read my speech again, this time to focus on the transitions between the paragraphs. I need to see if my paragraphs connect well. Does the last sentence of each paragraph connect well with the first sentence of the next paragraph? Here are the first 3 paragraphs of my speech. Let's read the last sentence of paragraph 1 and the first sentence of paragraph 2. Texas Longhorn cattle are fascinating animals, and not just because of those long horns. Horns! When you see Texas Longhorn cattle grazing in a field, the first thing you notice is those horns. Those 2 sentences do connect well, but the next 2 paragraphs do not connect well. Here's the last sentence of paragraph 2. Those long horns are really impressive. And the first sentence of paragraph 3. Texas Longhorn cattle are easy animals to raise. The movement from one topic to the next is too abrupt, too sudden. My poor reader or listener could get whiplash. I need to help the listener make a smoother transition. Paragraph 3 is about Longhorn being easy to raise, so I must keep this idea in my topic sentence. But not only do these 2 paragraphs not connect smoothly, I see that I have started paragraphs 3 and 4 with the same words. Texas Longhorn cattle are, and in paragraph 4, Texas Longhorn cattle are. Sometimes repeating a word from the previous sentence works to connect the paragraphs. Look at the sentence in green. These impressive animals are also easy to raise. By repeating the word impressive, we connect the paragraphs. Changing just a couple of words also creates a new and different paragraph starter. Now my 3 body paragraphs all have different sentence openers. We have a transition problem between paragraphs 3 and 4 also. Again, the change is too abrupt, too sudden. It sounds like you could raise Texas Longhorns even if you were inexperienced. Texas Longhorn cattle are often trained as riding animals. The main idea of paragraph 3 is that Longhorns are easy to raise. The main idea of paragraph 4 is that some people train the Longhorns as riding animals. These 2 main ideas are related, but I haven't helped my reader see the connection. How can I combine these ideas in my topic sentence to help my reader or listener? Look at my new topic sentence for paragraph 4 in green. The cattle are so easy to raise, they are often trained as riding animals. The topic sentence still shows that this paragraph is about how Texas Longhorns are often trained as riding animals. But now the topic sentence connects to the previous paragraph. Let's look at the final paragraph transition between paragraphs 4 and 5. They take them for a trail ride and even ride them in parades. Without a doubt, Texas Longhorn cattle are captivating. That sounds pretty good, so I think I've finished revising my paragraph transitions. The next step is to edit my speech. Editing has to do with writing conventions such as spelling and punctuation. Even if you did some editing while you were revising, you need to read your speech one more time. Correct capitalization if necessary, correct spelling if necessary, add, delete, or change punctuation. Make sure all paragraphs are indented. Now take a moment to celebrate your hard work. Let's review. In this lesson, we revised. We checked for organization, for word choice, spent quite a bit of time on sentence fluency, especially sentence openers, using subordinate conjunctions and transition words to help us improve fluency, and we looked at paragraph transitions. We also edited, checking for capitalization, spelling, punctuation, and paragraph indentation.